just about underway, and there you have it, the opening whistle of this international final, Manchester City Fluminense. My name is Nico Cantor. I'm alongside Ramses Sandoval for this one, ready to bring you all the action, all the color of this great final matchup between the Manchester City boys in blue and Fluminense in their classic and traditional burgundy and green. Waiting to see who will be the winner that will go on to play Weston FC in the ultimate final of a beautiful Prospects Cup 2017 that we'd have, Ramses.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's been a great tournament to see these young kids play. Leave aside the talent that obviously is well known, the fair play that they have brought to the game, the heart and soul, the transparency of the kids' game. They say a kid doesn't lie, and obviously that built into this great tournament. And really an unbelievable event from Prospects Cup, and Nico from Univision Deportes Network, who has essentially made this as near and dear to a pro tournament as it can be, and it's an unbelievable experience for the young lads.
Let's take a look at the starting 11 for both teams, brought to you by Hummel. Starting with Manchester City, who have changed quite a bit from their last game, including the absence of Obavworuo, therefore having to incorporate some new names like Fletcher in the back line.
Yeah, like Fletcher, like Dada Mascal, Samuel, the team that Darren Hughes puts on the pitch, Ndala, Batty, who had a goal last time around, and Ridge. And of course, up top, Okereja and Oliot. Oliot, who's been great. Tommy James Oliot, who's been great for the Little Citizens.
Oliot, who has played wing back and now is up top. Okerega now as a modification to the back line because Rig has to drop in the center midfield where Jose Obavworuo would play. Fluminense going up top, trying to save the ball from going out of bounds. And this is your starting 9 for Diego Leonardo Correia.
Oh, do Brazil, De Andrade, the goalkeeper for Flu. 3 kids in the back, Rocha, De Andrade, and De Siqueira. Luis Miguel Costa, De Siqueira. Brandao da Silva is 6. Number 5 is Renan da Silva. And up top, Sosa and Gustavo Veiga de Oliveira. Please keep your eye on number 9, perhaps the most dangerous striker in this Prospects Cup. There he is in the midsection of the pitch. Unbelievable size for number 9.
Easily the best striker in the entire tournament, not only because of his size, but because of his technique and his ability to find the back of the net. Now he's facing 2 defenders that he might match up with a little bit more evenly. Ndala now for Manchester City, down the left with Fletcher. Has to go backward, but between Dadamasco and Lacal Samuel, there seems to be a bit more of parity from the size perspective, where you didn't really see that between Gustavo and his rivals on either Boca, Chivas, or America.
And that's a good point, and we'll see how ManCity defends him. This is what he does best, and you got to watch him again and again, Nico. He basically recedes, backside turn to goal, and is able to pivot very easily. Now, listen, Isaiah Dadamasco is a top player, and even he looks smaller against a guy like Luis Gustavo.
That's Riquelme. Going back now, Luis Miguel to Henan. Mateus Luis, another big center back in this tournament, and key as well for Fluminense. Joao Henrique to Gustavo. Gustavo holding up on the turn, take a shot, Gustavo! Oh! Off target, goal kick for Manchester City.
He pivots, turns, it's so easy for him to do that, takes a right shot. We're gonna see right here, what a size on him, it's wide. But we'll see how ManCity is able to manage him, if you will, on the back. Listen, you're not going to stop him because of his size, Nico, but you're able to manage maybe the feedback that he can have, being obviously the number 1 offensive option.
Well, almost given away that time. Gustavo's poaching. You don't want to make a single mistake against Gustavo. You give him a one-on-one on the keeper, and that's going in the back of the net.
Got to watch him on the aerial game as well, Nico. Corner kicks, set pieces where the ball can get to his head. You got to watch that as well if you're ManCity.
Absolutely clinical. Number 9, Gustavo Gomes Veiga de Oliveira. Chance now, it's Jack Fletcher. And now it's City charging forward.
Fluminense, who had a great group stage, if you will.
And in the box, saw Honor regaining the ball. It was a good look for Fluminense, but stopped right there.
Drawing America, Chivas, and Boca Juniors able to get past them to get to this round. And able to play a smart game yesterday because Boca Juniors could have been the team playing here today, but Fluminense able to advance.
Able to advance, and with a lot of ease, they ended up beating Boca 4-0. Somewhat of an unexpected result.
I didn't expect that. But that's football, especially at this academy level. Now, when you look at those games, Nico, they dominated America completely. Gustavo came off essentially the whole second half. Chivas did a very decent job. They lost 1-0 holding off Fluminense. And then, of course, that surprising score yesterday against Boca Juniors 4-0.
Ndala now for Manchester City, out wide for Fletcher, wanting to whip it in, but in came Luis Miguel to cut off the cross.
And ManCity is going to be dangerous as well on set pieces and aerial threats, if you will. They have goals in these type of opportunities all tournament long as well.
City's going to whip this one in. City's got one big kid, Fluminense 2, to defend the corner. To the back post, and of course it's Mateus Luiz getting the ball out. And now cleared by Fluminense. This is Ocorrega wanting to go to Ndala. There's coach Diego Correia. And we've seen it throughout the entire tournament. A characteristic of the Fluminense defenders is every time they go into a tackle, and almost in an intimidation-like roar, they yell and chant as Gustavo charges forward, cut off by Daramasco. Fluminense building up. Gustavo, back turn to goal. Luis Miguel. Lacal Samuel tying his boot. Referee stopping play for the moment. The skipper from Manchester City has been pretty safe in the back.
He's been one of the backbones for this team, defending well and leading the charge from the back.
The only iffy game I would say that City had defensively was the 3-3 tie against Roma. But that's because Roma just turned up the jets and played great soccer to come back from 2-0 down.
They went up 3-2.
Yeah. And Ndala giving City that breath of hope as Fluminense is trying to get in the box, but stopped by the small rig. Oh no, it's Daniel Batty that time. Ball work to the right. Look, Kyle Samuel. The ball gets to Fletcher. Whipped inside, but nobody's really there. And now City are not going to have as much presence inside the box as they'd like. Of course, Ndala plays a little bit behind the forwards as he receives the ball there, but he usually has Obavworo to work with, and now he needs the help of other smaller players.
And Fluminense likes to possess the ball as well, so you'll see a lot of passing from the Brazilian side and also lots of patience, like in this play where they decide to drop back, Nico. And ManCity will have to pressure.
Bless you. Coming up to the
Thank
left.
You, sir.
Fluminense looking for the chance. And they won't get it. 10 minutes gone by. Both teams have been feeling each other out a little bit. None with a clear-cut chance. Gustavo far away from net. That's where they want him, but look at this technique. Trying to get inside the box. And the pass inside cleared by Dadamasco. And Oliet trying to get it to a teammate, but the Manchester City kids looking smaller than they usually do in front of this big Fluminense team. Up the right for Fluminense's Victor. Ball out of bounds for a corner kick for the Carioca team.
In the balance this game, both teams going back and forth looking to attack. 10, 11 minutes in, not a clear team that is dominating initially.
Near post cross, poor cross, ends up going out of bounds. Well, Mateus Luis wanted it in. Nice skill by Gustavo. He's been doing this all tournament long, but Fluminense, if they want to take advantage, they got to put it inside of the box on corner kicks because they're clearly much bigger than their counterparts for City. Batty. Rig and Batty are now holding down the midfield, letting Ndala be the top of the triangle. But far away from goal is where Fluminense want Ndala. And a foul's called against Manchester City and Ndala.
ManCity, for me, has been the team that possesses the ball the best. The passing game has been superb from the under-12 British Academy, and we'll see how it handles today against a team like Fluminense.
Now it's Fluminense going forward, looking for Gustavo on the turn. Look how Samuel wins the duel. How perfect can Manchester City be against Gustavo? That's going to be clear. They don't want any mistakes, any hiccups in the back.
Yeah, they want to stay as best as they can and obviously keep possession of the ball.
Dadamasco, Oliet, and Mateus Luis is going to win that every time. He just has to shield the ball, get City defenders off that, and look at him charging forward against Ndala, cutting inside. Outside now. Ball to Gustavo, edge of the box, chance for Flu. Hikelmi running towards it. Hikelmi cutting in. Won by Fletcher. Second chance opportunity, the deflection, and great save by Saul Honor to keep an eye on that ball. It was going towards net, and then it started skewing outwards, and Honor all over that.
And Gustavo got a touch in that. That's a sensational save from Solomon Honor. Great reaction, deflection that time to save his team. Not easy.
Cross to the back post, off target header that time by Mateus Luis. That's what Fluminense are going to be looking for on the corner kick, and it's the perfect adjective to describe it is unstoppable. How do you contain players that are a foot bigger than you are in the air also?
Yeah, more often than not, you're going to see that play. Mateo Luis Rocha, as well as Gustavo de Oliveira, being those guys that come into the box and are going to look for the headers.
Remember to check out Jumanji in theaters now. Welcome to the Jungle, movie starring The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Kevin Hart, Jack Black. Ramses here is a huge fan of the original Jumanji, and our producer got the opportunity to see it last night.
Yeah, Billy Scandella saying it's a great film. Now listen, Billy, a huge movie guy. He goes to the movies every night. Of course, he has a great deal going on. He's been trying to sell me on this pass for a long time.
Mateus Luis with a long ball towards Gustavo, but look how Samuel is there to stop the ball going any further than there. Nice stuff by Kyle Samuel.
ManCity does a good job from the back. They're patient. They don't get frustrated to lose the ball, as we've seen a lot this tournament with the long balls into the box. And they're able to keep possession like this.
Fletcher out wide. Here's Batty. Olliott wanted it at the edge of the box. Olliott leaving off for Ndala. Ndala man for man with Mateus Luiz, has to go back. That size up between Mateus Luiz and Ndala is great. Ndala waiting for a runner. He doesn't get an option. Now down the right with a Correga. And City's going to lose the ball. Gustavo coming into his own territory to receive the ball on the turn, playing left with Joao Henrique. Surrounded by two, and the winner, Joao Henrique. Ball played right, Luis Miguel. Foot race with Fletcher, Luis Miguel. The cross, and Daramasco gets it out only to find Riquelme, but there's a player down.
Daniel Rigg, unfortunately that time, gets stepped on the pivot turn from Victor Cajuan Sosa. Accidental play, of course. But obviously it hurts, and Danny Aaron Rigg down, and we'll see what the decision will be from Scott McAllister, a team doctor.
At times this has been a physical tournament. When it's fairly even, the teams have struggled to put the ball down on the ground. Not in this case, but sometimes it turns physical. So Daniel Rigg is down, and City are slowly running out of bench options. They have 15 players, but Daniel Rigg is key in that center midfield.
And he's slow to get up. It's going to be very complicated for him to continue. And this is tough to see. Young Danny Rigg coming off the pitch crying.
And that gave Fluminense a chance to hydrate. City need a midfield option.
Oh. Totally accidental from Cajuan, but Rigg will have to come up and see if he could come back on. It's the first half. That's the good news for him. He has some time to try to make his way back into the pitch. Listen, 18 minutes in, nothing for nobody here. 0-0, Nico, in a very balanced game.
And Gustavo kept quiet by the City back line, and that's very unusual because he usually makes his presence felt very early on. Fletcher now. Daramasco, Ndala. Ndala, good stuff. Ndala wants a shot. He ran into Mateus Luiz. It's not going to be easy for Ndala. Not only because Mateus Luiz is good defensively, but he doesn't have his number 2, Obavoro, to work with. Mateus Luiz has his eye on Ndala. Nobody else. Fletcher.
And again, look at ManCity, patient. And I think that's one thing that Fluminense has not been used to in this tournament, and they're going to have to adapt. Boca, Chivas, nor America was able to eventually possess the ball more percentage-wise than they did. And I would argue that ManCity has had the ball longer these 19 minutes in the first half.
And look who's about to come in. The little magician, Mateus Pedro. Always an option off the bench, number 10 for Fluminense.
And Mateus Pedro Barreto, he is crafty. Cheeky on the ball. Watch number 10.
The best 10 of the tournament.
Agreed.
Maybe Marco Cobo for Real Madrid comes close, but
I also like Marquez from Boca
as well, but it's that typical Brazilian style you get from.
We saw some very good number 10s. Aldavia of La Roma was very good as well.
The ball over the top, the header flicked by Olliott, but Not enough contact on that header to misdirect it enough. 5 minutes left. Here's the chance. Oh, he's caught offside anyway, but the thing is that Olliott is not a traditional number 9. And here you see it.
Oh. And this guy is as competitive as they get. If you notice, Victor Kawanzosa comes off the pitch and doesn't give a hand to his teammate. And he's the same young lad that wins the ball and gives you the big scream. Number 11 of Fluminense.
Yeah.
Under 12, but as competitive as it gets.
Gustavo on the turn, playing inside, and Honor's able to collect cleanly, not giving up a rebound. And there went the hat. And he's trying to take it off the field now. The toe poke, not strong enough to get past the goalkeeper. The long ball.
Clearly, we don't know what the strategy is. Obviously, we're not in the locker room for these two teams, but I like what ManCity has done. They have essentially slowed down their game. They have slowed down Fluminense. They have taken them off that style that Flu likes, quick pace, long ball. They look for Gustavo up top. They have taken critical guys off their game like Riquelme. And I think that's important. I don't know if they're looking to take this into a penalty kick shootout, but thus far, everything points to that.
And Thomas coming onto the field. Rise Thomas in the space of Isaac Okerga. Batty in the midfield, looking for an option on the turn. Down the right. Now it's Fletcher. Middle of the field, Ndala. Very even matchup. City haven't been able to break that Fluminense back line. Fluminense have put a little bit more pressure on Cities, but no team with a one-on-one, no team with clarity inside of the box able to create a clean-cut chance.
You see the position of Mateus Pedro, who sits there right beside Gustavo.
Batty on the turn. And here he goes. Mateus Pedro.
Not a bad opportunity that time. Good decision making, if you will, by Mateus Pedro, but a bit too much of a long ball for his teammate Gustavo de Oliveira.
On the turn, Batty.
Oh.
Played out wide, Olliott.
Oh.
Olliott, he's got Batty inside. Danger's not over. Fletcher down the left. Play goes backward and stopped. I think the correct pass there should have been a diagonal ball. Back to Batty.
Olliott with a sensational move on Mateus Luis. I don't think I've ever seen a striker, I should say, in this tournament execute that kind of play against Mateus Luis. Very well done by this young man right here, 11.
But Kyle, that a Masco, all the Fluminense behind the ball, and Fluminense have sat deep almost throughout the entire tournament. They get their goal and they sit back and they counter because the teams are exposed in the back, going forward so much. Almost all of City and Fluminense's half now. And their transition play is great. That's why they've been able to expose teams in the back like Boca, like America. But so far, City have been able to manage that and manage Gustavo, which is not an easy task. Kyle Samuel inside, Ndala on the turn. Ndala go forward. Ndala still Ndala, stopped. Luis Miguel came in just in time. Gustavo back turn to goal, but header won by Kyle Samuel. Charging forward, Mateus Luis wants the option. It's left with Joao and Hiki, but it's stopped by Rise Thomas. And now it's Ndala playing inside. Fletcher, still Fletcher, looking for Ndala, but a very congested edge of the box for Fluminense. Stops that, and now Mateus Pedro looking for that upper corner. It's off target and over the crossbar.
Way out from Mateus Pedro is going to take it and close. This is going to be the end of the first half, 0-0. The hat from Solomon Honor, who knows?
Oh, but might have the ball gone in?
No.
As he was taking his hat off the field. Well, that's the controversy. 0-0 first half between Manchester City and Fluminense. If this remains like this, we will go to penalty kicks, but we've got 25 minutes to play after these first. Is what we will see before we see our next finalists, Ramses Sandoval, Nico Cantor, Prospects Cup 2017, Manchester City and Fluminense in the second half, looking for a spot in the final. Both teams at the top of their group.
25 minutes to go. One spot remaining for the championship, Nico. Who will it be for? ManCity or Fluminense to win this Prospects Cup? Western Football Club awaits their rival.
Ball over the top to Gustavo Solana off his line. And that's what Fluminense want. What Manchester City have to be careful with. The long ball, the little space that Gustavo needs, Manchester City can't give it to him. And if there's any way that the Fluminense goal could come, it can probably be like that. Direct over the top to their big man, who will slot home the first one-on-one you give him.
It's a 0-0 game. We do remind you, if this holds any type of draw at the end of the 50 minutes of play between these two in this stage, we do have a penalty kick shootout. No overtime, straight PKs between the Little Citizens and Fluminense.
Trying to get forward, Fluminense. Kawa has come into the game. There you just saw him. This is the skipper, Kyle Samuel.
We'll see how long before both of these teams show a little bit more of aggressiveness, knowing that the game will be ending. Knowing that time's going to run out, better said. We may see in the last 7 minutes of the game a little bit more assertiveness from both sides.
And in the stands, you see all the teams, including Orlando, including Sockers. Boca was there as well.
Borussia.
Ndala going forward. He's got no help. The ball finally rebounds off of him and out. Oh, no. It's still City ball then. Fletcher now. The throw in for City. Nobody inside the box. The lone Elliott. And I think that's City's problem today. That the fact that they don't have Obavoruo, the fact that Ndala has to drop so deep to control play, takes away from their presence up top and inside the box, and that's why City haven't been able to create clear chances.
But they have been able to possess the ball, and I think that's something Fluminense is yet to get used to in this game. As I mentioned earlier, Nico, we spoke about this. Fluminense is not used to not having the ball, and they have not, in the majority of the time in percentage, not had the Hummel Karma, official ball of this tournament, against Manchester City in this game. Particularly on the defensive side of the ball, ManCity is able to control a lot of the possession over on their side. When they cross over half field, that's where Fluminense starts to pressure.
Mateus Pedro gains a throw in for his team close to the box. Played quickly. Kawa now looking for Gustavo. And Saul Honor's going to collect that, and that's going to be an indirect kick inside of the box. That's got to be indirect.
Oh, and that's unfortunate.
Let's see how this one plays out.
Dada Mascal knew it right off the bat. And this is going to be a great opportunity for Fluminense. And we'll decide, and we'll see how they decide, better said, to execute it.
It's a lapse in concentration in the back for Manchester City. Mateus Luiz is there to take it. They wanted to take it fast, and Dala picking up the ball. City's got to just pack that goal line with players. Mateus Luiz dropping back now. And there you see it. These are not as easy as they look.
The human wall you'll see now basically on the goal line, Nico. And setting up to execute it is Victor Cawan.
Mateus Pedro to take the second chance. The ball's going to be poked to him. City's going to charge at him. This is a great chance for Fluminense. This could mean a spot in the final. Mateus Pedro stopped. Not as easy as it looks. Not as easy as it looks at all. I'm going to show you Juan Roman Riquelme indirect free kick inside the box after this, Ramses. Ball falling back to shot. Saul Honor, what a save. Strong and away, Saul Honor. Keeping City alive. 0-0 this game stands. Mateus Pedro. This game has been injected some energy. A couple of controversial plays and a great save by Saul Honor there.
Formidable save from the keeper, from Honor. Nico, that had some punch on it. Tremendous shot, very powerful and pacey, and Saul Honor does a great job to get rid of that one.
Dala, all it can control. On the turn, and Dala now close to the box. Options left with Fletcher. Even more out wide, but the ball's going to be stopped. Fluminense the other way. Over the top, Kawa looking for Gustavo. Samuel winning that. Gustavo putting the body, but it's cleared by City, and an awkward pass forward. It ends up going out of bounds, and here's a save.
Wow.
Quick reaction.
And by the way, I have already seen that Riquelme indirect kick. Nico Cantor.
Okay.
It was against Atlético Rafaela.
You're absolutely right. The shot from Gustavo.
Juan Roman Riquelme, more than likely part of the under-12 Boca Junior team at one time.
Watch out with this, Mateus Pedro, so close. So close, Mateus Pedro. Are you sure it goes as far back as Boca Juniors under 12?
Yes, sir. More than likely, Nico, more than likely is to show that we may see at one point Gustavo de Oliveira or Dada Mascal or Solomon Honor or Herrera Boca Juniors or anybody of these young superstars in the pro game at one time, and perhaps 20, 30 years from now, broadcasters like us will talk about them in their young beginnings in the under-12 Prospects Cup tournament. Or perhaps the Argentino Juniors under-12 team, Mr. Nico Cantor.
Yeah, Riquelme ended up finishing his career at Argentinos Juniors in La B Nacional.
Very cool. Not many players will do that. Not many players will go back to where they were born. Riquelme doing it. Rafa Marquez doing it with Atlas of Guadalajara.
And Ronaldinho went.
Yes, sir.
But he's yet to go back to Grêmio. He came back to Brazil, but Grêmio fans wanted him to come back. That's where he started.
A little Ronaldinho for you right there.
Mateus Pedro to the right. Kawa, Gustavo can control Saul Honor, picking up the ball. 35 played.
Something tells me, Nico Cantor, the way these teams are playing, they don't want to commit mistakes. They don't want to lose. It's how you play direct elimination games. You're just a little bit more cautious, if you will. Seems to me we may have penalty kicks today.
Ndala edge of the box, take the shot, and look at Mateus Luis. Ball to Gustavo, counter-attacking opportunity for Fluminense, charging forward. Gustavo, he wants a shot. Gustavo stopped. Batty. He'll win it. Good stuff for Manchester City, other way. Counter-attacking opportunity up the right-hand side. Manchester City, this could be it. The shot, the save. What a save, Pedro Luis. A hand in the deflection that could mean a spot in the final.
But look at the craftiness here from Thomas James Olliott. He's so quick on his feet. Two-man, see you later, takes a shot. Great save, but wanted to put it second pole all along. ManCity answers back.
Pedro Luis hasn't been called into action too many times, and that time coming up big, and Olliott with a shot completely off target. Both keeps coming up big in both semifinals.
And you talk about the concentration, too, from Pedro Luis, which we have to talk about. Hadn't really been busy in the game, but he's ready 35 minutes into the game to make an important save. As we have fresh legs coming on for ManCity. Checking into the pitch is Gabriel Francis, guardside Kelly.
Guardside Kelly, who plays up top for City. It seems like the coach is switching into attack mode now. Might be a bit exposed in the back. City have been just a bit better, as they have throughout the entire game, but creating the chances is not enough. Putting them in the back of the net is what counts. Gustavo, the cross, stopped by Dadamasco. Saul Honor didn't want to pick it up that time. Thought that time he could have.
Look at this.
Here's the cut inside, and it looked like it was going in, but Pedro Luis followed it all the way through.
And that's the key. The key term is followed it, because usually a goalkeeper, and you talk about this at the pro level, you don't have to talk at the youth level. That's why it's most impressive with Pedro Luis. He follows the ball and then takes his dive, and that is why he gets to the ball, Nico.
I thought it was in.
So did I. I thought it was a great finish. It's a great location where Olio picked, but a great job done by Pedro Luis in the back.
Fluminense losing the ball out of the back. Joao Enrique can create some space for himself, runs out of room. Rig wants some space. Dadamasco, Fletcher, Dadamasco. Kyle Samuel, the skipper. City unable to control, giving possession over to Fluminense. About 12 minutes left, Ramses. There's really no clear favorite right now.
No, there's not, and I'll go ahead and talk about it again. I think this is a game tailor-made for a penalty kick shootout. Two well-balanced teams. Two teams with lots of talent, two teams that impressed in the first round. They both have game changers. A guy like, obviously, Gustavo, and then a very crafty player like Tommy Jamie Olliott. And at the end of the day, you don't want to lose. It's a semifinal matchup. And you're not going to risk as much. So to me, with 12 minutes to go, it enforces just that much more the point of a possible penalty kick scenario here. If both of these teams are going to be a little bit more free, if you will, play with a little bit more livery, we would have seen it in the earlier minutes of the game. You're literally past that time. It's 38, almost 39, 10 to go in regulation. You don't want to miss out on that final game where Weston FC is hanging out to take place. Tomorrow, by the by, 10:25 a.m. Eastern will be the championship.
So we repeat, we reiterate, we're confirming that If in 11 minutes we do not have a winner, we will go to the spot. Penalty kick shootout to define the winner. Who will be in the championship against Weston FC? City on the front foot, chance on the right for Olia, but the pass is a little bit too strong and it's collected by Pedro Luis.
Just a bit long, but if that gets a little bit closer to the boots of Olia, it's a good idea by Joel Ndala, who has been much more active offensively this second half, Nico. You spoke about the way he was tied up defensively in the first half. He's been more free the second. And talk about ManCity. They are missing a big-time player for them, Obabuoduo. And there he is. Sensational job from the production team. Thank you. He has been as important as they get. He is the Gustavo to ManCity, and he's on the bench for ManCity.
Header away now. He came off Obabuoduo right after scoring the first goal in the last game against Borussia Dortmund.
Yes.
And he never came back on. Gustavo trying to get his body in front of the ball. And Dadamasco taking care of that. City going forward, City on the front foot, City want it. Down the left, a diagonal pass back, this looks good. City once again, Fluminense behind the ball. Dadamasco. Team from Manchester trying to work it around, but stopped by Joao Henrique. But City win it back now.
These last minutes, ManCity pressuring on a little bit more and playing on the field of Fluminense offensively. And it'll be interesting to see if both of these teams turn it on in the last minutes of this game, try to get a late winner. Surely, I believe if there is a goal here, that team will be the winning side.
Dadamasco going forward. Garside Kelly. Up the right, Fluminense, Gustavo against Lacaille, and Lacaille wins it. And here is your Gatorade MVP, Pedro Luis de Andrade.
Yeah, he's got to be it, because this was a great opportunity just minutes ago and would have sealed the deal. I mean, in the second half, with only about 13 minutes to go, that time the opportunity for Thomas James Olliott is a great save, keeping this 0-0, scoreless.
And this is a good chance, a cross, headed off the goal line by Ndala. Saul Honor missed it. Off a set-piece play, a throw-in that turned into a foul. And now it's a corner kick, looking for the big man inside the box. Olliott clears, but poorly enough. Fluminense whipping it up. This got to be honors, and he collects. Calm. Here it is again. Probably the best chance for Fluminense, and both headers weren't even theirs. It was a deflection off a City player, and Ndala followed it to the back line and cleared it. We've gotten so close to our goal, but haven't got it yet. 7 minutes away from a penalty kick shootout.
Goal line save from Ndala. Exceptional play. Number 10, as good as they come, offensively and defensively.
Rice Thomas can't get to the ball. It's shielded by Joao Henrique.
By the way, Ndala, for me, a clear candidate, Nico Cantor, for most valuable player of the tournament. We'll see if ManCity advances. Ndala, he is complete.
He's been key for Manchester City, and today he's got to do it all alone if he wants his team to go to the next round. City now on the right, playing back. 6 minutes and a half from a penalty kick shootout here on UDN Prospects Cup 2017 in its final stretch of foul at midfield. Chance for City now. Both teams do not want to make that mistake. A mistake that can cost them a spot in the final. Kyle Samuel to put it in the box. 44 gone. A good chance. This has got to go in the box. Samuel to the back post. So close. Elliott, Thomas James Elliott can't get his foot to the ball. And it's going to go out of bounds for Fluminense, who plays quick out of the back. Mateus Luiz and Fluminense giving it away. And Dalla going for the 50-50. And retroactively, a foul will be called against City in favor of Fluminense. Nobody wants to make a mistake at this point. You're walking on the edge of failure.
It's Joao Enrique who's down on that play where he was disputing the ball in the section offensively for ManCity with Ndala. I think Ndala stepped on Joao Enrique's hand. That left part of his hand. Number 6 will step off for a minute. 5 minutes to go. ManCity and Fluminense 0-0, ladies and gentlemen. Nearing the possibility of enjoying penalty kicks for the first time in this tournament.
There you see Ndala stepping on the hand of Joao Enrique. And Fluminense need to bring one more kid on the field. Up top, Fluminense. City now need to be perfect. The momentum has swung the other way. Putting the ball inside the box. Cleared by Samuel. Very timely by Samuel. Ndala trying to get it out. Finally done by Fletcher, only to half field. Ndala trying to win that 50-50 against Victor. Not a smart foul, not a smart foul at all. Now a good opportunity for Fluminense. Here's your Olive Garden play of the game.
Yeah, we'll say by Saul that time, but this is really what makes that play the play of the game. The goal line save from Joel Cizanga Ndala.
Whipped in, saw Honor collects. He almost spilled it. It's a hard-driven shot from almost half field by Mateus Luiz. There's technique for you. Tried killing all the strength on that ball. It rebounded a little bit, but in the end, does a good job. The little keep for City. Slide tackle that time. Gustavo now laying off. It looked good for Fluminense. Stopped by ManCity. 3 minutes left. City and Fluminense look for a spot in the final against Western FC, who is looking on, waiting to know who their rival will be in the championship match of this Prospects Cup 2017.
Minutes ago, Ndala coming back to pick up Gustavo de Oliveira on the one-on-one. Love what Ndala has done. Has been offensively sound, but also comes back to defend. And he's the closest one in size to Gustavo Gomez Veiga de Oliveira, so he has to pick him up whenever he can.
There's the young LA Galaxy team, and Gustavo is coming off.
Wow.
That's strange. That's very strange.
Now, the subs are allowed to come in and out, so our next finding will have to be if players that are on the bench and if they have the ability.
Only the players on the field can kick penalty kicks.
Yeah, so that was the next point. So the players that are on the bench are not allowed to kick penalty kicks. So this may clearly be a strategic move from Flamengo's head coach, Diego Leonardo Correia, because he has good specialists of the penalty kick art, if you will, on the bench. ManCity could do that as well.
Mateus Pedro stopped. Mateus Pedro has been very contained, and so has Gustavo. Cities defensively have done a really good job. Defensively.
5 and 5 penalty kick shots, by the way. So 5 a pop, if you will, for these guys, and only the kids that are on the field. So the 18 players right now on the pitch are the only eligible ones to take those shots.
And if not, it goes to a sudden death if the 5 penalty kicks don't decide a winner.
Exciting as can be, and we're 45 seconds away from a PK shootout, Nico.
Last chance for Fluminense. About 30 seconds to the 50th minute mark. Fluminense charging forward. City not giving any room. The cross picked up by Saul Honor, and that'll do it for Fluminense. And now it's City on the ball. Last chance, and Dalla charging forward, and Dalla charging forward. Olliot open on the right. This could be for the championship. Olliot! Ball still alive! And he runs out of bounds. A great save by Pedro Luis. We will be going to penalty kicks.
Wow!
We will be going to kicks from the spot. What a save by Pedro Luis. This could have been it, and that is it, definitely. We are going to PKs, Manchester City against Fluminense.
And what a ball from Ndala, Nico. Pinpoint pass, half a goal for this young lad. Olliot had a decent first time. The teams enjoying this penalty kick shootout, and the winner of the shootout will face Weston FC in the championship.
The Borussia Dortmund team, who faced this City team, lost 4-0 yesterday in the final group stage game. And it's gonna be Fluminense or City to take first. It seems like the goalkeepers are changing, and it's gonna be City to take first. It's gonna be Rig. The first penalty kick then of this shootout, Daniel Rig against Pedro Luis. The first chance, City to go up. Ref on the sideline and the center referee. They want the players behind the net to clear it. So Rig iced a little bit, and here we go. Daniel Rig, goal! City get it in, the first PK.
Excellent execution. Good power, good location on the shot. Extremely hard for Pedro Luis or any goalkeeper to get there. Oh, great penalty kick. Almost perfect.
Now it's Saul Honor's turn against Mateus Pedro, number 10 for Flu. Mateus Pedro, goal for Fluminense. 1-1.
Also well taken, Nico, down to the ground where it's hard for Saul Honor, who has taken his hat off. 1-1, as you said.
And now it's Olliot. Thomas James looking to put City up back again. The left-footed player struck home, nice. Olliot, 2-1 City.
Excellent is the word I use for that execution from Olliot. Sends the goalkeeper the other way. Good power, good location, precision, accuracy.
And it's gonna be Victor for Fluminense. Saul Honor trying to stop him. Victor! 2-2.
And thus far, these kids, these young lads putting on a clinical penalty kick shootout. Excellent finish from Victor Kawanuzos.
And now, Dadamasco, the center back for City. Dadamasco, goal for City. Pedro Luis thought he was going the other way. That was savable. It wasn't the greatest execution, but it ends up going in.
That's precisely what happens there. Pedro Luis wants to gamble to the right. Too late to go left once he sees the shot from Damasco going right. Another great penalty kick.
A keeper is yet to make a save. This is Kawa. Fluminense get the 3-3 goal!
Goes right, sends the keeper the other way. Perhaps not as much power, but excellent location of his shot. And again, very well taken. A clinic, I'm telling you.
Lakyle Samuel for City. The skipper, it's in! Great penalty kick execution for Manchester City, I must say. And now we're coming down to the wire.
Is anybody gonna miss today? I don't know, I don't think so. What a great execution from Samuel. Again, the power and the location of your shot is the key.
As even as it gets. Davi da Silva for Fluminense against Honor. Rolls in! So unlucky, Honor almost got right back up and saved that. Oof.
Wow.
Davi, almost. That goes in and we are still tied. Ndala, City's best. Ooh, strong and tucked home. Golazo.
And Ndala knows it. He's not happy with himself after that penalty kick. Very close from the save was Pedro Luis.
Ooh, the nerves. But it's a strong PK. That's what's more important. And Mateus Luiz. If he misses, City wins. Mateus Luiz, goal! Sudden death.
Cool as ice for Mateus Luiz. Well done under pressure.
Sudden death now. Chance for City to go back up again. Perfect. 5 for 5. Gabriel Garside Kelly to take. Garside Kelly posted in.
I mean, are you kidding me?
To the limit.
Penalty kicks. Wow, that is an unsavable, unblockable penalty kick shot. Nobody's getting there.
Joao Henrique. If he misses, City wins. Joao, golazo! Joao Henrique ties it back up again. 6 of the 9 have kicked.
And I'll tell you what, get your notepad out, get your pencil out, and start taking notes on how to take penalty kicks.
Jack Fletcher now. For City, it's in. Straight down the middle. Sent the keeper the other way. Boy, might we have to repeat? No keeper has made a save yet. A perfect penalty kick shootout. Now for Fluminense. It's Henan. Tucked away. Excuse me, Luis Miguel.
Well,
wow.
And it shapes up to be a situation where maybe one of these two are going to have to take shots as well. The goalkeepers, Pedro Luis and Saul Honor. Well taken. Honor goes the other way.
Rice Thomas in the back of the net. These are great PKs.
Thomas with as much power as can be.
And City are setting up their goalkeeper, Saul Honor, to be the hero of the night. Yet again, in his hands, could possibly be the save that lets them be in the championship. Henan, now for Fluminense! Honor City into the final round! The championship against Western FC. Penalty kicks. And it's sole honor with a final save. We had to go through 8 Fluminense players to get it. He was key in maintaining the 0-0 and the delight with the staff. The assistant coach, Colin Tung, as tense as it gets, as even as it gets, Ram says, we had to go through 50 minutes of soccer and then to the 8th penalty kick to define the winner.
And if you think for a second it was badly taken by Renan de Andrade, that would be incorrect. Sensational save from Solomon Honor. Had to go to his ride. Powerful shot, kept it out. And Manchester City has advanced in a very exciting semifinal championship game on the international side. ManCity and Western FC will play for the championship.